So I've been away, apparently busy trying to grow another eye, until it got to a point where it just decided to give up entirely and blow up in the middle of the night in spectacularly grisly fashion. And now it's back to being just mildly horrible. This is my wrap-up for July. Now, I've never actually done a wrap-up, but it's significant, in part because it was a fantastic month for reading. I read a ton of books in July, and no small part because of my giant eye herpes kept me indoors and trying to avoid people at all costs. But it's also significant in that this July, I passed my total number of books read from last year entirely. So it's all gravy from here on in. Alright, so what did I read in July? So I finished Racing the Rain by John L. Parker Jr. He's best known for his work called Once a Runner, which is often lauded by runners as a touchstone type book. Parker writes about running really well, but he tries to cram a lot of different stories here. It is sort of sepia-tone nostalgia growing up in the southern part of Florida. It is a high school basketball drama. There's a little bit as far as running goes. And then there's this sort of like Scooby-Doo murder mystery thing that's just kind of tacked on at the end. When he talks about running, great. The rest of it, 3 stars. I also read Haruki Murakami's What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. And this one is just sort of an ambling stream of conscious diary about running and writing. Now, I have this idea as far as writers that they're sort of these fey hipster introverts that are hunched over a keyboard writing. Murakami, on the other hand, has run a marathon for the past, 20, 30 years? He's run a 100K ultramarathon, and he's competed in a handful of triathlons as well. And he's a pretty damn good writer. I loved his IQ 84 from a few years back. This, not so much, 3 stars. I was picking up these books for some mid-season inspiration on running. I've been sort of lagging as of late. I was looking for that spark that, so far, the best book on running, bar none, is Born to Run by Chris McDougall, which frankly convinced me, pretty well, couch-bound, couch potato, that running was the most natural thing in the world to do, and I've been doing it ever since. Broken Monsters by Lauren Bukes. I reviewed it earlier, 5 emphatic stars. Fantastic read. Check out the video review if you want a little bit more information on that book. Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. Her book from last year, Lila, is just being lauded. It made a ton of critics' top lists for the end of the year, and it is probably something that I'm going to read. This one right here, it is the story of an aging and he thinks dying preacher telling his life story to his young son. And it's all about faith and family and redemption and religion and all these sort of big things that he's wrestling with, as you are wont to do, I suppose, when you're at the end of your life. And this one requires a lot of effort on the part of the reader, and I guess it was just not something I was really willing to put into the book. Another 3 stars. All right, Mermaids in Paradise by Lydia Millett. So a honeymooning couple goes off to a beautiful tropical island and happens to go scuba diving with a marine biologist, where they stumble upon a school, a shoal, a herd, a pack, a swarm of mermaids. So they come back, and then suddenly the marine biologist is found dead, drowned in her bathtub, and the corporation that owns the island resort descends on the coral reef where the mermaids were found, trying to capture them so they could actually make them the centerpiece of their theme park. Meanwhile, the honeymooning couple, freaking out and scared for their lives, are trying to save the mermaids and prevent the large nameless and faceless corporation from taking advantage of it, so enlists the help of a Japanese YouTuber and an ex-Navy SEAL to thwart their plans, and hilarity and hijinks ensue. It would probably make a pretty decent movie, and I hear it's being optioned right now, but it's got the weirdest sort of mic drop ending that comes out of the blue that I have ever read in a story. 3 stars. Sweetland by Michael Crummey. This one was actually recommended by Liberty Hardy, she of Book Ride and All the Books podcast fame. She absolutely loved this book, and coming from someone who reads more books in a month than I do in an entire year, I kind of value her opinion. Anyway, she said she couldn't be more excited about this book if she had swallowed a cat and broke out in kittens, and that's pretty damn high praise for her. This sort of Newfie story is absolutely fantastic. It is absolutely 5 out of 5 stars. I would have given it a 6 if I could. Loved this book, and I think I'll do a video review of it sometime in the future. And Look Who's Back by Timur Vermes, translated by Jamie Bullock. So Hitler wakes up, 2011, no worse for the wear, naturally, and suddenly becomes a YouTube celebrity, where he opines about the state of Germany, the idea to weaponize small dogs, the horribleness of cooking shows, and Wikipedia. 3 stars, 3.5, half point just for the awesome cover. And finally, Nimona by Noelle Stevenson gets 4 out of 5 stars. Fantastic graphic novel, and shark boobs for the win. Alright, so that was my reading list for July. Not too bad. And I apologize, it is a little late in August for an end of July reading list, but hey, I've been preoccupied. What can I say? Anyway, hopefully you guys had a great month of reading in July, and segueing nicely into August. I'll talk to you again soon.